I'm not teaching, I'm publicly learning. But hi and welcome to Learning for the Life in the UK test part 258. Films, British film industry, yes. So films, while doing short impingement training, and if you participate in a short impingement training, this is at your own risk. I'm just a bit wondering. We're having films, and then we're having a section with British film industry as the second title, but there's never having a second title, so it's films and the one and only subtitle British film industry. The UK has had a major influence on modern cinema. Yes, that's true. The UK has had a major influence on modern cinema. So the modern cinema, I guess we're referring to the 1980s, 1990s until 2000 and onwards. We can't really tell 2010 and onwards. The UK has had a major influence. So the whole cinema of the whole world, which is running since the 80s, 90s, was a lot influenced by the movies made in Britain. But also already in the 70s and 60s, now if you're going more back, and also in the 50s it was a bit, in the 40s, this history of cinema is just 50 years longer than in the 1940s. The movies made in the UK have a great influence on the cinema, especially on the modern cinema. Films were first shown publicly in the UK in 1896, and film screenings very quickly became popular. So, the first publicly showing of films in the United Kingdom was in 1896. And it didn't take long until it became popular to watch these film screenings, which started in 1896. From the beginning, British filmmakers became famous for clever special effects, and this continues to be an area of British expertise. So the people who were doing films in the United Kingdom became very quickly famous for making good special effects. Maybe we're going to explain a little bit of it. And that is still the case that people believe, not really believe if they go directly here, that the British film industry has an expertise on special effects. From the early days of the cinema, British actors have worked in both the UK and the United States. Sir Charles, or Charlie Darwin? Charlie Chaplin. It's Charles Darwin as well. So Charlie Chaplin, but his full name is Sir Charles Chaplin, became famous in silent movies for his tramp character and was one of many British actors to make a career in Hollywood. So there are many people from the United Kingdom who work on the United States in Hollywood, in Los Angeles. And since the beginning, from the early days of cinema, directly from 1910 and so on, people from Great Britain worked in the United States. There are also many people from the United States working in Britain. And one of these people who is born in Britain is Charlie Chaplin, who worked for 30 years or so in the United States until he then went away from there. So, and Charlie Chaplin, for example, is famous for silent movies, but he did also talking movies. And there he had his very famous tramp character. And he's one of the many British actors who made a career in Hollywood. So a tramp character, it's not so easy to describe. And the tramp character is a person which is... It still has to be treated with respect even though it's a fictional character. So I don't really know how to explain it. I could explain his appearance, better his clothing, but I don't know the name for it, for the whole vocabulary. So let's just say he has oftentimes, I don't know what it's called, a stick to walk with, and he has a hat, a black hat, and he's also clothed in black. It's typical for the time, but he's almost completely, I think there's sometimes this, whatever is visible, for his jacket, it's openable. And I think the most recognizable is his hat and his stick, and also maybe his beard. which also, for example, another person had, a famous person, Oliver Hardy. And so Charlie Chaplin, he was a British person, famous in the United States. And in Britain, the whole world is Charlie Chaplin famous. Now we're going to do a bit short impingement training, and if you participate in a short impingement training, what is it here on the screen, warming it up, we are going with shoulders back, up, and front, and down, and these are 4 shoulder circles, so we're going back, up, and front, and down, and we're going back, front, down, and another time we're going front, up, back, and down. He often comes in miserable situations quite quickly, his character, and he tries to work through them, but it's not always so happy fun. And now we're doing the next exercise. What is that? We will lift up. We're having long arms and hands moved to fists, and we're turning the arms to the inside. And we're bringing the shoulders back together and down, and we're opening the chest into the sky. So the arms to the inside, and the shoulders down together. And we're changing the position of the arms to the outside, and the shoulders down together. And change the arms to the inside, and the shoulders down together. And the arms to the outside, shoulders down together. And we're having a second exercise, which is similar. The arms to the outside, hands forward fist, a little bit in front of the arms. Bring the arms in front, and shoulders down and together. Arms in front, shoulders down and together. And change the arms back, shoulders up and front. And the arms in front, and shoulders down together. And the last time training, the arms back, shoulders up and in front. Arms back, shoulders up and in front. And a little bit more. What do we have else? British studios flourished in the 1930s, but also in other decades. But they flourished in the 1930s. Eminent directors included Sir Alexander Korda and Sir Alfred Hitchcock, who later left for Hollywood and remained an important film director until his death in 1980. So there were directors. I don't know what the word eminent means. It's never of importance. Whenever I have encountered it. It's here not important. Eminent directors. We could just skip the word. Directors include Sir Alexander Korda and Sir Alfred Hitchcock. And Sir Alfred Hitchcock left later for Hollywood, but he remained an important film director during his whole life. During this, I think we want to tell us these both names. So in the 1930s, British film directors flourished and British studios flourished, and 2 directors, for example, Sir Alexander Korda and Sir Alfred Hitchcock. During the Second World War, British movies, for example, In Which We Serve, played an important part in boosting morale. Later, British directors, including Sir David Lean and Sir Ridley Scott, found great success both in the UK and internationally. It is not written chronologically. So, during the Second World War, there were many movies made also in the United Kingdom, and some of them were there to boost the morale during the hardships time of the Second World War. And an example is In Which We Serve. And after the Second World War, there were many British directors who are very successful, for example, Sir David Lean or Sir Ridley Scott. Now we're going to do the rest of shoulder attachment training. I'm doing the shrug, lifting the arms up, and you're shrugging the shoulders up, and releasing it all. I can do this only if you can do it without pain. If you're lifting the arms up, and you're shrugging the shoulders up, and releasing it all again. And lift the arms up, shrug the shoulders up, and release it all again. And the rest up. The arms up, shrug the shoulders, and release it all again. Now the practical, the arms together, and we're going down to the outside. And all we're doing here is observing how the shoulders are working. The scapula is working. And outside, we're just observing what the scapulas are doing. And now one last time, to the outside, and again to the inside. And now we're doing the last exercise with samba here. You can also use a tennis ball or something, wearing it at the outside, and we're letting it fall, and we're trying to catch it again. And now I'm going to bring one arm in front, shoulders stays back, shoulders down, and we're putting the arm in, letting the thumb up, and we're trying to relax it up. So shoulders back, the arm is down, putting the arm in, thumb is up, we're trying to relax it up. And the other arm in front, shoulders back, down, putting the arm in, thumb is up, trying to relax it up. And that was the shoulder and pinch training during 3 minutes. So, the 1896, the first movie was shown in the United Kingdom publicly, and soon it drew attention and became famous, or well known. And there are, for example, Charlie Chaplin, who was one of many people who was from Britain and worked in the United States. And other people are, for example, famous directors, Sir Alfred Hitchcock and Sir Alexander Korda. Alexander Korda, during the Second World War, there were movies such as In Which We Serve to boost the morale of the population, and when there are also, after the Second World War, were and are famous directors who have also international success, like Sir David Lean or Sir Ridley Scott. The 1950s and 1960s were a high point for British comedies, including Passport to Pimlico, The Lady Killers, and later the Carry On films. So these are comedies. For example, they were shot during the 50s and 60s. Passport for Pimlico, or The Lady Killers, and then also the Carry On series. Many of the films now produced in the UK are made by foreign companies using British expertise. Some of the most commercially successful films of all time, including two of the highest grossing film franchises, Harry Potter and James Bond, have been produced in the UK. So, there are many foreign companies, especially from Hollywood, shooting movies in the United Kingdom. And they are then often cooperating with British studios or working with British citizens together, and they are using British expertise. So Warner Brothers, for example, shoots a movie in the United Kingdom in cooperation with Pinewood Studios or something like that, and they can then rely on the British expertise when they're shooting here in Britain. And some of the most commercially successful films of all time, including two of the highest grossing film franchises, Harry Potter and James Bond, have been produced in the UK. So there's the Harry Potter franchise with 8 movies and the James Bond franchise with 10 to 25 movies. and both franchises were done, I think, even exclusively in the United Kingdom. And these both franchises are one of the highest grossing film franchises in the world. So we have just 1960s, where is calculated together which series of film has made the most money, and the Marvel Cinematic Universe is very high, I think it's on top, but also the Harry Potter and James Bond, which are done in Britain, are very high in that ranking. Thank you very much, and until next time.